I'm Samantha Brown, professional organizer, decluttering specialist, and business coach. I created Pro Organizers Coach to empower you to reach new heights in your business. I'm on a mission to build a supportive sisterhood of passionate professional organizers. So whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just getting started, this podcast is for you. Hey friends, welcome back to the Pro Organizers Coach podcast. Today I have Tracy Beavers with me, and she is going to talk to us about email marketing. So thank you so much, Tracy, for being on the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. So Tracy came and talked to the girls inside of the group coaching membership back in December, and that went so good. Everyone had amazing questions. Like the things that you taught us were on point. Like I was so excited about that. And so I was like, okay, all right, let's get a podcast episode and let's jump in because we're service-based, right? And so we hear about email lists and we think, oh, online businesses or coaches or, it makes sense for those people to have email lists.
Right.
But as a service provider and as a local service provider, do you recommend that we have an email list?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I got this question the other day in my group from someone who has a business like that. It's in home, it's local. There's only a certain radius that you're willing to drive for a job. You might fly to a job if the pay was good enough. But for somebody like a professional organizer or a massage therapist, neurofeedback clinic, real estate agent, somebody that is hands-on in the home, yes, every single business, it doesn't matter if it's brick and mortar, in-home, product-based, network marketing, online space like me, online entrepreneur with courses, coaching, and all that jazz. Every single kind, restaurants, retail stores, everybody needs an email list. And, you and I have heard this a million times. It's not news. The reason why we need an email list so badly is it's the only thing we own as business owners. And it is our largest asset as a business owner, because that is those clients, that community of people that you've served and that love you, you want to hold them close to you. And the best way to hold them close to you is in their email inbox. And you've heard this before as well. Building your business only on social media, only online, is like building a house on rented land. And it's because we don't own Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or any of the platforms. And those could go dark at any time. And about a year and a half ago, Instagram and Facebook went dark for about 36 hours. And I'm part of Facebook asked me to be part of their Meta Leaders Network, and I'm in that dedicated Facebook group. Well, when the lights came back on and Facebook was back on and we were all in that group, it made me so sad. There were thousands of business owners in that group that lost a lot of money in a 36-hour period because they didn't have an email list and they didn't have any way to keep making money. But the people that had email lists, they didn't miss a beat.
Right.
Because their clients could still get a hold of them. They could still get a hold of their clients. Business was not disrupted. And so that's what you want as a business owner. You want to not only not have a disruption in business, but you want to curate a relationship and a connection with your clients. And the best way to do that is for them to hear from you fairly regularly, giving them value. And then what that leads to is the next time they think to themselves, oh, my children's game room is a freaking mess for the millionth time. I need an organizer in here. Or if they're like me, every time they pull in the garage, they just want to close their eyes and run into the house because the garage is awful. They're going to think of you first. Or the next time they're out walking the dog like me and they run into a neighbor who has had it with their house. They're trying to put the Christmas stuff in the attic. The attic is a mess. I can go, hey, let me tell you about my organizer. So they're missing out on not only deepening the know, like, and trust factor and the connection with the existing clients, but they're missing out on all those potential referrals from their existing clients who love them, who are sitting around the dinner table at Christmas and Thanksgiving and, sitting at the ballpark with the kids and, all the places, book club and church league and, all the places where we talk to our friends and we're all griping about how unorganized our stuff is. Or, there's a real estate agent client of mine, top producer real estate agent. One of the things she loves to gift her clients is a professional organizer coming in when they move in to completely organize the kitchen. And so how cool would it be to make that connection and keep her close to you so that every time she sells a house, which is about 60 times a year, you're getting a phone call. Hey, come reorganize this kitchen or this closet, or hey, can you help them figure out where to put everything in the garage? So
Yeah.
that's the reason why we've got to have that. We've got to hold
And
our people close to us.
100%. And I just recently for New Year's sent out a mass text to a lot of the people I'd worked with this previous year. And it was just as simple as Happy New Year. That was it. And yep. I got a session from it booked because I know it reminded her of, oh yeah, I meant to book that session with her.
Right.
And just something as small as the reminder of us being in front of their face is everything. Exactly. And I think a lot of us, at least even me, the idea there for a while of an email list was so daunting. Yes. But what I've realized is we can actually take the stuff, like it can just be another place that we put our before and after photos and the things that we're naturally going to have to go on Canva and create. And then we have to put on our Google, and we have to put on social media, and we can just take that, repurpose it essentially, and pop it out like once a month. It does not have to be an all the time kind of thing for us as service providers.
You're exactly right. Once a month, if that's the baby step that your audience needs to take to start doing email and start growing an email list, then email them once a month in a newsletter that has those beautiful before and afters. And absolutely don't reinvent the wheel on the email. A lot of my clients and students will say, okay, Tracy, I'm building the email list like you told me to. Now, what do I say to everybody? And I'll say the same thing that you're saying, Samantha, which is, well, what are you already creating that you could share with them? Because the algorithms are so finicky. A very small percentage of the people that are following you or friended you and connected with you as a friend are going to see the things that you post on social. It's sad, but it's true. Unless they are making a conscious effort every few days to go, oh, I've got to go see what Samantha's done on her page. That's awesome if they are. That's rare if they are. Mm-hmm. And so we can't take the chance that these beautiful before and afters are not being seen by the people we want to see them. But I guarantee you, if it lands in the inbox with a really interesting subject line, they're going to open it up and they're going to want to see those before and afters.
Yeah. And speaking of subject line, I think that's a good topic. So you had mentioned one of the girls, I forget what she had asked in the workshop that you did inside of the group, but you were talking about like really interesting subject lines. And I love the way that you kind of brought that up and explained it. And it was something about, like grandma's cookie recipe, or I don't know, something. But anyways, it was about taking a story that you could tell. But so tell us about that subject line and how we find the things that people are actually going to click. Because that's hard. Even with a podcast, figuring out the title to get people to click is so hard.
Yeah, it is. So the most read parts of an email are the subject line and the PS at the bottom. And so the subject line has to be compelling enough, like you just said, for me to notice it in my inbox and go, "Oh, I've got to open that," instead of just deleting it. The one of the secrets that I'll share is in the subject line, use an emoji as the very first character. So when you see my subject lines, it'll be like a green check mark square, and then the subject line itself, or it'll be like a star or something else. And the reason why you want to do that is you want to use something colorful, because if you think about all the lineup of your inbox, there's hardly anything in there that's got color on it. But if they see an emoji on a subject line, the eye is drawn immediately to it. They're going to see yours before other people's. So it's going to grab their attention. And then that subject line itself, think through, what are you putting into the email? Like, are you, and I don't remember the grandma's cookie recipe story. I sure wish I did, because evidently it was gold. So I will say, though, that there are AI tools out there like ChatGPT. There's a free version of ChatGPT that will help you write a subject line, or give you options on a subject line where you can kind of see some different ideas and then maybe rework into something that's authentic to you. So one of the subject lines I used recently that was had a high open rate was for people that I was reaching out to my email list and asking who would like to be an affiliate for my Business Visibility Made Easy program that's coming up and relaunching this month. And the subject line was, I had the little money bag emoji, and it said, want to bring in extra $sign in Q1 2024. Basically, want to make extra money in Q1 2024, question mark. Now, who doesn't want to make extra money, first of all, and who isn't thinking about it in the first quarter of 2024, right? And so you want to think to yourself, what would cause me to want to open this? I'm trying to think of, there's got to be a funny way to phrase, like if you included before and afters of the kids' playroom, from crayons on the walls to, organized beauty, or I'm just spitballing, and that's not very good, but you know what I'm saying? So like if you had that in the email, because one of the things, the cookie recipe I now remember came up because people were asking, well, what do I put in the newsletter if you're just going to do one a month? And so if you're going to do one a month, you would want to include something timely. Like right now, it's the start of the new year. I don't know about you, but I put all the Christmas stuff away and the house looks naked. Isn't that weird how that always happens? That your house looks so much bigger when the Christmas stuff's gone. And then segue into, here's some awesome work that I did, with before and after. Here's a way to organize your children's playroom or your garage. Or did you know that these new shelves just came out from the Container Store or something like that? And here's how a great way you could use them, or, any number of things, just some tips there. And then another thing that would be personal, like your favorite recipe, like your favorite grandma's cookie recipe. Just something that it's more than just, here's your tips and some before and afters on organization. It's like you're sharing your life with them, and they can't wait to open it because they know they're going to learn something that you've been doing. And, like our son just left for Madrid, Spain for a whole semester. And I thought my heart had gotten ripped out of my chest. And so that is something that I will probably include in an email. Did anybody else's kid leave for college this past week? Can we share a box of Kleenex? And the subject line might be, do we need to share a box of Kleenex?
Right.
That's something different where they'd be like, oh, why are we sharing Kleenex? So the subject line, and then the PS and the email. Okay, so then let me back up. So the content, the body of the email itself, this goes against every rule we were taught in school. You want to have not more than 3 sentences together. If you get to 4 sentences on any paragraph, the brain starts to shut off. So a good rule of thumb is if you've got 4 sentences, break that up into 2 blocks of text, white space in between every single one. And in some of my emails, there'll be 1 sentence, white space, another sentence, white space, because everybody's skimming. They're skimming. And so we want to use bullet points, and we want to use white space to make it visually appealing and easy for the brain and the eyes to digest. Otherwise, they'll open it up, and if they see a whole big block of text, the brain's going to go, oh gosh, I don't have time for this. And they're just going to delete it, or they'll think they'll get back to it later, and they never will. And then
which is why the PS is, because they literally are skimming through, and then they see the PS at the end.
Yep, you're exactly right. And so on all my emails, you'll see that PS is for the skimmers. This is what the email said. And then I have a PPS of a call to action I want them to take. It's really important to have a call to action in every email, even if it's, is your garage depressing you? Give me a call, book an info call, and let's talk about how we can make driving into your garage the most beautiful part to the end of your day every single day, or something like that,
Yeah.
Or the call to action is if they have a free Facebook group, for example, which for professional organizers, that's a home run to have a free Facebook group where people can come and learn from you and get to know you better. You can have an invitation to that free Facebook group. Or if you're having a special, book 1 session, get another one half off, whatever's going on, you want to utilize that space in that email.
Yeah, no, that is huge. So for anyone that is like, yes, Tracy. Okay. I'm convinced. I want to start an email list. Like I'm ready to do it. I know you have a live masterclass coming up. So will you tell us a little bit about that and just kind of exactly what that entails in case they want to figure out more of the steps?
Absolutely. So I am a visibility and email list growth strategist, and all the strategies that I teach are free strategies. I tried paid ads a couple of years ago, and it was a massive waste of thousands of dollars. And I decided right then I was determined to build my business, and I have a multi six figure business built on free strategies. So in this live masterclass, I'm going to teach you 4 simple strategies nobody else is talking about that is going to help you attract your ideal clients and grow your email list so that you can start getting that stable, repeatable monthly income every single month. It's not any fun as a self-employed person to have months where you start the month and you're like, well, are we going to keep the lights on this month or not? And you don't know. But when you start employing some of these visibility strategies that I teach and growing that email list, you end up creating a marketing machine for you that literally does the work for you once you get it into momentum. And you plug all of the leaks that you've got in your visibility so that everything is solid. And then you just employ the strategies. And before you know it, your income is stable every single month. There's going to be a minimum amount you're going to make every single month, guaranteed. I've seen it happen for so many of my clients and students.
Yeah, well, and it makes sense because as you're talking, that's what I love about you is as you're talking, it sounds exactly like what I try to teach them, right? Is like build your foundation first. Let's get it solid. So then as we start implementing these things, it's a guaranteed, like I know Google is a pain in the butt, but getting those reviews and keeping your Google set up really, truly matters. I had a lady call me just this morning. I was about to get in the shower. Literally, I get a phone call. She's like, hey, I had a fall right before Christmas. I need help putting my Christmas stuff up. I found you on Google. And I'm like, well, normally I do a free consultation, but it sounds like you just need me to be your hands and feet. And she's like, yes, that's what I need.
Love it.
Literally within a 5-minute phone call, because of my Google, I had booked the session. That was it. I didn't even have to go do the consultation on this one because she had already seen all of my visibility, all of my stuff. She'd read the reviews. Now, does it take time to build? Yes.
Yeah.
But it is so worth taking the time to build. And it sounds like it's very similar with the email list where it's worth it in the long run.
Yeah. She was sold before she ever got to you. And it's because you stayed consistent and you stayed focused on the strategy of Google. And it's the same thing that I teach. We talk about the Facebook personal profile. We talk about your Facebook business page. We talk about whether or not having a free Facebook group is for you. We talk about utilizing other people's Facebook groups to help you network and find collaboration partners and new clients and things like that. And all of that stuff starts to churn on itself over time. And just like you're saying, by the time somebody comes and finds you, their best friend said, you got to call Samantha Brown. She's the best. That best friend goes and looks you up on social media and sees all your stuff. Your personal profile's dialed in, your business page is dialed in. You've got the Google reviews, but on Facebook, she's like, oh my gosh, or Instagram, this is my person. And then she's doing exactly what you just said. And by the way, that would be a great subject line. Let me be your hands and feet.
Ooh, that is good. Yeah. Yeah. And it's finding those little things that, like today, I just recorded an episode for the podcast and popped it out that is about getting more leads, like how to make your homepage convert, like what needs to be on your website's homepage so it converts, because that's our number one thing as service providers is we need more leads. And in the beginning, when you first start your business, it does take time for these certain things to work, to land, to get the clients in the door. But if you're going to have to take that time building something anyways, why not make it something that you're like, okay, I know once I implement these things, it may be a few months, but once that few months gets here, I've already got a system in place that I just keep doing because I'm all about systems. Like I make it easy, do the system, have a little like, this done. I don't need to think about anything. I just need to do it. Hey, friend. Are you ready to kickstart your professional organizing business? Whether you're just getting started or you've already started, but you're feeling a bit stuck, I have got your back. Join our POC group coaching community on January 1st. but act fast for a limited time offer. Secure your membership at $37 a month from January 1st through the 10th. Do not miss this one-time opportunity to elevate your business. If you have been thinking about joining us, this New Year's special is exactly what you have been waiting for. I will see you there.
Exactly. And what you're saying is consistency. You got a system that allows you to be consistent with ease. Consistency is the thing that I see people making the mistake about the most. I say all the time, consistency and patience are the wonder twins of business success. Because we've got to do exactly what you just said. We can't try something once, decide it was a failure, and go try something else. We have to try things and keep going for a few months, 3 to 6 months, sometimes a little longer with something before we decide it's a fail. And I love what you said about the homepage of the website. And on that homepage of the website, a great way to attract people to your email list is to offer them a free guide of some kind. You know, the top 10 shelves you can use in your garage, or the top recommended pantry organizational shelves, or, where you talk about the Lazy Susan and the clear containers and, things like that. It doesn't have to be anything. People think that they've got to give away something that's got sparklers and fireworks attached to it. No, it could be very simple. Think about, for a free lead magnet, which is basically something where if I land on your website, it's something you're going to give me for free, but I have to opt in for it and give you my email address. And then the free thing lands in my email inbox. But think through, what question are you always answering? What phone calls are you always getting? Is it always the children's playroom? Is it, I need you to organize my kid. He just came home from college and his dorm room exploded inside our living room. Or, is it the garage? Or is it the sports equipment? The refrigerator? Think through, okay, what did I just do with that client that really, really helped them and blew their mind? Make a free lead magnet about that.
Yeah. Our clients tell us, like, they literally, if you pay attention, and the next time you're at a session, any session, pay attention to what the client says. That is the wording you should be using.
Yes, exactly.
If the client made you happy. Now, of course, if it was a hard client, maybe don't use their wording. but a client that you at least are like, okay, I could totally work with this type of person on a daily basis. Use those things. Like, even if you have to run to the bathroom real quick, or be like, excuse, or I need to run to the car as you're taking, a load out to the vehicle to haul off, like, make a quick little note in your phone, like whatever that thing looks like, so you don't forget what they said, because it never fails. You leave and you forget what they said.
Exactly right.
But if you're choosing to be aware of what they're saying, and you're purposefully paying attention to their wording, what excited them, what made them like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. Those little nuggets are the things that you want to make sure to talk about, put in emails, that type of stuff. It's like neon sign moments is what I call them. Like, in my life, they kind of pop up randomly if you're paying attention for them.
Yeah, I love that. And I may have to steal that, the neon sign moments. That's brilliant. And while you were talking, I was thinking to myself, when, as a professional, or I've never had a professional organizer come to the house. I haven't needed one, but I might need one for the garage, because I've just about had it and I really don't have time to do it. But in my mind, I was visualizing you coming to my home as a professional organizer, and you're asking me, you probably have an intake form where you're writing down their name, their address, their phone number, their email. And then I don't know if your students and clients have people sign anything, but on the signature line, it could say, by giving me your email address, you're saying it's okay for me to subscribe you to my newsletter, because that's really important. We don't ever want to opt anybody into our email list that didn't ask to be opted in, because we could get in some trouble for that. That's an FTC violation. But on that intake form, you just very simply say, you could even ask them, I'd love to have your email address. Is it okay if I go ahead and include you to receive my newsletter once a month, where I've got tips and before and after pictures? They're not going to say no. And then when you're working with them and you're asking them things, they're telling you how they feel. Write all those words down on that form, and then you've got it right there. But I love your idea too. If they say something and you're walking to the car, grab your phone and send yourself like a Voxer message or a WhatsApp note, or an email,
anything. Yeah,
anything.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just so you remember, because like, and the consultation is a great place for us to do this too, because during sessions, a lot of us are very like go, 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 and we don't really have time to do those things. But
Yeah.
during consultations, they take time. The
Mhm.
clients are already telling us their problems anyways and what pain points they have. And
Mhm.
then we are essentially telling them what our solution is for them.
Mhm.
And it's just taking that wording, because I think a lot of us make it way more difficult than it has to be, of like what we should say in emails or on our website or
Yep.
it. And they
100%.
just need it simple. Like if we start overcomplicating it, we're going to start losing clients.
Exactly. Exactly. In marketing, there's a phrase, don't be clever, be clear. And that's exactly what you're saying. A confused client will not purchase. We want people, when they land on your social media, to immediately say, oh, she gets me. That's my person. And the way you do that is exactly what you just said. You keep it simple and you use their words, because that's the way they're going to see themselves in what's happening. Because
Mhm.
chances are they're saying those same words. So, like, for example, when I created the Business Visibility Made Easy program, I didn't have email list growth in the title the first time around. I just said something about attracting your ideal clients and growing your income to consistent months or something like that. And it was all the wording was more focused on visibility, because that's what I know people need in order to grow their email list, is to get visibility. But that's not what they want, and that's not the word they were saying. What they want is email list growth. What they're saying is, I need email list growth. And when it dawned on me, I felt like a ding dong, because I teach marketing, and I was like, wow, Tracy Beavers, you just missed that by a mile. And so when I switched it around to using the words they were saying, right, and what giving them what they want, so then I could give them what they need, that's when the wheels started, churning off the charts for that program. So it's the very same thing. You just don't be clever, just be clear.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, like I was pulling it up to read it. I actually was super impressed whenever I was looking at the masterclass that you have, because it literally says how to grow your email list and attract your ideal clients without paid ads. Like
Uh-huh.
it's very simple. It's very like straight to the point. You know exactly what you're getting. And honestly, when I read it, the first time I read it, I was like, wow, okay. Like I wish I could be that clear whenever I'm sending stuff out. It's hard to get that clear sometimes. But
Yeah,
once
it
you've
is.
done it for a minute,
Mhm.
it's the same thing. The consistency and taking time and
Yep.
figuring those little like you said leaks out.
Mhm.
As soon as you plug those holes, everything starts to flow the way that it should.
Exactly right. Yeah. And I can write marketing all day long for other people. I don't know what my problem was for myself, but you know, that's why we
Yeah.
need coaches, because it's hard to see our
Yes.
own.
Yes. And that's for all of us, even coaches included. Like I'm a huge component of coaches need coaches, because
Yeah.
we can't see our own stuff or see what is it, the trees for the forest or whatever,
Yeah.
essentially. But it's
Yeah.
the same thing. Like, and it's exactly what you were saying about getting clever. We get in our own mind,
Uh-huh.
we overcomplicate it,
Yep.
and we start trying to get clever, thinking that will help us stand out, when really that could be the death of our business.
Exactly. Yeah. No, what's going to make you stand out is you being authentic to you, using your voice and allowing people to see you as you are. So, like, a great example of this, and it's so embarrassing, is when in fact, my assistant told me, she went back the other day into the archives years ago when I first started doing live video. I thought I had to be perfect, anchor woman perfect, hair, outfit, lighting, ready, the whole thing. I was so boring. It was unbelievable. And she told me the other day, we were on a student call. She goes, oh, yeah, guys, she's not kidding. She was a snort. I was like, oh, thanks, Jill. Thanks, Jill, for bringing that up. But anyway, my point is that when I started to loosen up a little bit, and I started being more of myself. I talk with my hands. I make up words. I laugh at myself and make fun of myself. My dog will go running through the room, barking his head off. One time during a live masterclass, he just completely lost his lunch. Completely lost his lunch. And I was like, well, this is professional. I've got a dog over here who's, lost it.
Right.
And I've got I'm on a live masterclass. But that's the thing that people love. And so that's what's going to attract people to you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you being goofy in the garage, trying to organize holding all the sports equipment and being like, is this happening at your house? Let me show you how I can make this better. And just lightening things up and being yourself instead of overthinking, like you said, and thinking that everything has to be just magnanimous, with dollar signs all over it and fireworks and sparklers. And it's got to be super special. It's got to be the best thing anybody's ever seen. It's not going to be the best thing anybody's ever seen. There's not much that's really new out there unless you're fighting a cure for cancer.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is I remember starting my business thinking, I've got to come up with a new thing for everything I put in. Right. Everything. I was like, right. And so I was confusing myself almost like my dog does, just going in circles, chasing my tail, because there isn't anything new. And so when you start, when you let go of all of that and you're like, whatever, it just is what it is. Like for me, I tell my clients all the time, I'm known for taking you step by step. Do not get overwhelmed and get like today I had a consultation and the lady was talking about like 4 sessions from now, what we would be doing. Right. And I'm like, listen, we just got to get step 1 done. We're going to get that done first. Right. Then we're going to talk about that. Because if you start trying to take me down that road, I'm going to get confused and stressed. You're going to get confused and stressed. Mm-hmm. So I promise you it will happen, but this is a process. And knowing those things and sometimes just being blunt with our clients and just being like, listen, I promise you don't want to already be thinking about that. Like bring it back to here. Let's start here. We'll get there. I promise you. Like we'll get there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the beginning, you don't know those things. And so you almost like, I remember thinking that like, oh, my ideal client, like when you hear the words ideal client, right? Like you almost think this perfect person and then you're perfect. And it's the wording that gets a little confusing as a business owner. And all it really means is people that are just like you, your people that you would love to hang out with and work with is what that means.
Right. Yeah, exactly. People that you could easily have a cup of coffee with. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Ideal clients. Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, but yeah, oh my gosh, this has been so good. Okay. So tell everyone real quick. I know the links will be in the show notes below, but your live masterclass, when is that coming? The dates or, that kind of stuff.
Yes. We have 4 different dates and times for people to choose from because everybody's in a different time zone and everybody's got stuff going on. So the first one is January 16. I'm not going to quote the time because I'll get it wrong, but there's a masterclass on January 16 and on the 17th. And then on the 24th and on the 25th. And when people show up live, which I encourage them to do because it's a ton of fun, I do want them to carve out. Some people have been asking me, how long is the masterclass? And we ran over an hour last time I did this, in large part because of the Q&A that I do at the end. I have a live Q&A so they can ask me anything. And depending on how long that goes, we might go longer than an hour, but I'm going to trim it down this year to try to get everybody in and out in an hour. And then if they want to stay for Q&A, they can. But when they show up live and they stay to almost the end, they're going to get a free exclusive gift from me that they're not going to find for sale anywhere. The only other people that have it are people that are in my alumni membership program. It's called the Facebook Growth Toolkit. And it is all of my best steps and tricks and ideas to totally max out every nook and cranny of Facebook. And in the live masterclass, I'm just going to be completely transparent because that's the way I do things. I am going to be talking about my Business Visibility Made Easy course and program. It's my 8-week group coaching program. I use this live masterclass to launch that program. But what I'll say is, even if you don't join the program, come to the live masterclass because I'm going to teach you 4 strategies that you can walk away with that day and start to implement. And you'll get my Facebook Growth Toolkit. So even if you don't want to join the program, it's not the right fit for you right now, that's okay. I want you to come get the knowledge. I want you to come meet me. I want to meet you. I want to get your questions answered and just welcome you into part of my world.
Well, and I plan on coming to one of them, by the way, because I want that stuff. Like I need my own Facebook and my own stuff done. And I don't even have an email list like you would think I do with, the podcast and all the stuff. And it just never was a priority. And honestly, until I met you, I did not see the importance, I guess, of it, but you have totally changed my mind on that.
Oh,
And
good.
I realize I need an email list, honest, for both
Good.
businesses, truly,
Yeah.
because whenever you first start doing this and, literally I've just taken it step by step and things have happened so fast that
Mm,
I feel like I really am missing this like gap somewhere. And I
yeah.
guarantee that's probably what it is. I've got the podcast and then I've also got like the coaching and all of that. But if I had an email list, I would have a way to actually stay in touch with people in between that aren't actually ready to come join the community yet. But yeah, it's so easy to go over an hour. Like in the group coaching membership that I do, like I'll look down and I'll be like, oh my gosh, we have like 3 minutes left. Hold on. Sorry. Like, and
Yeah.
it really does, especially with Q&A. I love
Yeah.
Q&A because then
I
you're
do
getting
too.
to actually answer what people are wanting to know. And that's
Exactly.
what they're there for.
Yeah, for sure. I love Q&A myself. I just love to teach and I like to help. And I will find myself, like you said, like I could talk forever. And that's a problem. So I need, I will have notes to keep me on track. But I would love for you to, because when you were talking about you need to have an email list for yourself, and I'm so glad that I was able to turn the
Mhm.
tide on that for you, because what you're going to find is you're not going to have to turn cartwheels at the front of your store, attracting new clients in and warming them up from a cold audience as much. When you have an email list and you're connected deeply to the people that love you, you're going to start having referrals coming in for those new clients. And so your business is going to start being built on referral, which is the dream of every business owner, to not have to stand at the front of the store waving the sign and trying to convince people of who we are and that we know what we're doing. No, the best new client is the person who shows up with their wallet and goes, my best friend told me about you. And I just, okay, where do I sign? That's what started happening for me when I started paying attention to the email list. So we need
Yeah,
to work on that too, Samantha.
absolutely. Well, and just like what happened today with the lady that called that I didn't even have to go do the consultation because she already saw my stuff that I've been growing and working on. And like, I guess in my mind, an email list was like, another thing I have to do, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But the more that we've talked about it, the more I've realized it really can be part of that no think checklist I go through and the steps that I take. And I really can use what I'm already creating in Canva anyways and
Yeah.
just figure out a way to reuse and repurpose those
You're
things.
exactly right. You're exactly right. When you've knocked that lady's socks off and you've been her hands and feet, and then you end up in her email inbox, she doesn't have to worry about remembering your name or keeping your business card.
Oh,
Because
that's
you're
true.
there.
Yeah, no, I love that. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Tracy.
You're
Okay, so
welcome.
the
You're
the
welcome.
links will be in the show notes. Everyone go join the masterclass. And then is it Tracy? What's your website?
It's just tracybeavers.com, and it's
Perfect.
Tracy. My name is not fancy. I wish it were. I always wanted it to be an IE or something like that. I'm not. Tracy and Beavers with an S on the end.com.
Thank you so much for coming and talking to everybody today and convincing us that we need email lists.
Thank you for having me. I love it. And any opportunity I can to help is just makes my heart happy.
I appreciate you. Thank you. And for those of you listening, we will catch you in the next one. You have been listening to the Pro Organizers Coach podcast. If you have gotten any value from today's episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps us grow and it warms my heart. All of the links will be in the show notes below. Keep pushing forward and you will achieve your dreams. Girl, you've got this.